The rain-slicked streets of Brooklyn gleamed under the sodium lamps like veins of molten silver, and I was drenched, heart pounding as I sprinted toward the subway, my backpack slamming against my ribs with every step. I'd just bolted from Alex's apartment after seeing the text on his phone, a casual "miss you already" from Jordan, the guy he'd sworn was just a friend, and it hit me like a freight train. I was in love with him, had been for months, but tonight it shattered everything. As I shoved my way onto the crowded F train, gasping for breath, my reflection in the grimy window stared back accusingly, whispering the truth I'd buried. If I didn't confess soon, I'd lose him forever to someone who actually spoke up. I collapsed onto a sticky plastic seat, the train lurching forward with a groan that mirrored my own. My name is Riley Harper, 24, a barista by day and aspiring graphic novelist by night in this relentless city that chewed up dreams and spat out survivors. Alex Rivera, my best friend since freshman year at NYU, was the one constant in my chaotic life. The guy who'd drag me to dive bars for late-night rants about bad dates, who'd crash on my futon after his shifts at the graphic design firm, his laughter filling the tiny gaps in my soul like sunlight through cracked concrete. We'd met in a life drawing class, both fumbling with charcoals and egos, bonding over our shared disdain for the pretentious professor who called us darlings, with a wink that made our skin crawl. That was the spark, innocent and electric. But over 4 years, it had smoldered into something I couldn't name until Jordan entered the picture 6 months ago. Jordan Ellis was everything Alex deserved. Confident, out and proud from the jump, with a laugh that turned heads in crowded rooms and a job at a non-profit fighting for queer youth rights that made him sound like a goddamn hero. I'd watched them flirt at that Pride after-party last June, the bass thumping through my chest as Alex's hand lingered on Jordan's arm a beat too long, and I'd excused myself to the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face to drown the jealousy rising like bile. He's straight. I'd told myself 1,000 times, because that's what Alex had said back in college. Straight as an arrow, experimenting maybe, but never serious. Except now, with that text glowing on his screen while we were supposed to be binge-watching old horror flicks, the arrow had bent, and I was left holding the splintered pieces. The train rattled on, stations blurring past like forgotten memories. I pulled out my sketchbook, the one I always carried, and started doodling furiously. Alex's profile, sharp jawline softened by a hesitant smile, but twisted now with betrayal I hadn't earned. Why did it hurt so much? Because in the quiet hours, when the city slept and my apartment echoed with loneliness, I'd imagine us more than friends, stolen glances over coffee, his head on my shoulder during thunderstorms, a kiss that tasted like rain and redemption. But I was the coward, the one who'd laughed off his drunken, what-if confessions at 2 a.m., chalking them up to tequila and not the vulnerability cracking his voice. By the time I stumbled into my walk-up in Bushwick, peeling off wet clothes and collapsing onto the bed, the what-ifs had multiplied like roaches in summer heat. Tomorrow, I decided, staring at the water-stained ceiling. Tomorrow, I'd tell him. Practice the words in the mirror, make it real. Little did I know, tomorrow would unravel everything. Morning came too soon, gray light filtering through my thrift store curtains like an unwelcome guest. I brewed coffee strong enough to wake the dead, the aroma mingling with the faint mustiness of my one-bedroom that doubled as a studio. Canvases leaned against walls, ink stains on the rug from late-night inspirations. My phone buzzed. Alex. Hey man. About last night, can we talk? Swing by after your shift. My stomach twisted. The text. He knew I'd seen it. Panic clawed up my throat, but I typed back a casual sure, 8-ish, and hit send before I could overthink it. Work dragged. Endless lattes for harried commuters at the corner cafe, tips jingling in the jar like hollow promises. Every foam heart I swirled into a cappuccino mocked me, a reminder of the one I couldn't pour out. By evening, I was a wreck, pacing my apartment with a half-eaten bagel forgotten on the counter. I needed to rehearse, to armor myself against the inevitable rejection. Standing before the full-length mirror propped against my dresser, a cracked relic from a garage sale, I straightened my shoulders, ignoring the dark circles under my hazel eyes, the way my brown hair stuck up in defiant waves no matter how I combed it. Alex, I started, voice barely above a whisper. There's something I've been wanting to say. I paused, heart hammering. Too formal. Try again. Dude, I think I'm. The door buzzer screamed, jolting me like a live wire. Shit. He was early. I glanced at the clock, 7:45. Rushing to the intercom, I buzzed him up, my rehearsed lines dissolving into vapor. The knock came soft, almost tentative. I opened the door to Alex, looking every bit the heartbreaker in his faded band tee and jeans that hugged his lean frame just right, his dark curls damp from the drizzle outside, green eyes shadowed with something I couldn't place. Regret? Guilt? He held up a six-pack of craft IPAs, forcing a grin that didn't reach his eyes. Peace offering. 4. Whatever that was last night. I stepped aside, letting him in, the familiar scent of his citrus cologne wrapping around me like a noose. We settled on the sagging couch, bottles clinking as we twisted off caps, the TV flickering to life with some mindless sitcom neither of us watched. So, he said after a swig, staring at the label like it held state secrets, you saw the text. I nodded, throat tight, sipping to buy time. The beer was bitter, matching the ache blooming in my chest. Jordan, he continued, rubbing the back of his neck, a telltale sign he was nervous. It's not what you think. Or maybe it is. I don't know anymore. His words hung heavy, the room shrinking around us. I wanted to scream, to spill everything, but fear glued my tongue. Instead, I muttered, you don't owe me explanations, man. We're friends. Friends. The word tasted like ash. He set his bottle down, turning to face me fully, those green eyes searching mine with an intensity that made my pulse stutter. Are we, though? Lately, it feels like. More. Or less. I'm messing this up. He laughed, short and self-deprecating, running a hand through his curls. Remember that time in college, after the breakup with Sarah? You stayed up all night with me, talking shit about straight girls who don't get it. I remembered, vividly, the way his head had lolled onto my shoulder, breath warm against my neck, the almost kiss we'd both pretended never happened. Yeah, I said softly. I remember. The conversation meandered then, skirting the edges of truth like skaters on thin ice. He talked about Jordan, how they'd met at a volunteer event, how the flirting started as a joke but lingered like smoke. He's out, you know? No hang-ups. Makes me wonder why I ever thought I had to hide. Hide. The word landed like a stone in still water, ripples spreading. I'd always assumed Alex's straight label was armor against a world that still sneered at guys like us. Guys who'd grown up in conservative suburbs, trading whispers in locker rooms about crushes that didn't fit the script. My own coming out had been a quiet affair at 19, a letter to my parents in Ohio who responded with awkward hugs, and we love you anyway, but the scar tissue remained, tender under pressure. As the beers emptied, the air thickened with unspoken confessions. He leaned back, arm draping casually over the couch back, fingers inches from my shoulder. Riley, what about you? Anyone special? His tone was light, but his gaze pinned me. This was it, the opening I'd practiced for. My mouth went dry. Actually, I began, voice cracking like thin glass. There's this guy? And I need to tell him. Alex's brow furrowed, a flicker of something hurt, crossing his face. Who? Some barista crush. I shook my head, the words bubbling up, hot and inevitable. But before they could break free, he stood abruptly, grabbing our empties. Hold that thought. Refills. He vanished into the kitchen, leaving me adrift. I could hear him rummaging, the clink of bottles a distraction from the roar in my ears. When he returned, he handed me a fresh one, but his smile was strained. So this guy? What's stopping you? Everything, I thought. The fear he'd laugh, or worse, pull away. The years of burying feelings under bro hugs and inside jokes. Timing. I lied, and what if he doesn't feel the same? Alex sank down closer this time, our knees brushing, a spark that shot straight to my core. Then he's an idiot. Anyone would be lucky. His voice dropped, husky in the lamplight. Lucky. The word hung between us, charged. We talked late into the night, the city hum fading to a distant lullaby. He opened up about his doubts, the pressure from his family back in Queens, the Catholic guilt that whispered shame even as he chased what felt right. I shared fragments of my own mess. The ex-boyfriend who'd ghosted after I got too serious. The isolation of sketching queer heroes no one else saw. It was cathartic, raw, the kind of vulnerability that binds souls. By midnight, the six-pack gone, we were shoulder to shoulder, his head tipping toward mine in exhaustion. "Thanks for listening," he murmured, eyes half-lidded. "You're the only one who gets it." My heart swelled, teetering on the edge. "Always," I whispered back, the confession hovering like breath on glass. But as he dozed off, soft snores rumbling, reality crashed in. Jordan. The text. Whatever this was, it was fragile, built on half-truths. I eased away, grabbing a blanket to drape over him, my fingers lingering on his arm. Warm, solid, heartbreakingly real. In the bathroom mirror later, splashing water on my face, I practiced again. "Alex, I love you." Not as a friend. The words echoed, bolder now, fueled by the night's confessions. "Tomorrow," I vowed. But tomorrows have a way of fracturing. The alarm on my phone shattered the fragile peace at 6 a.m. A relentless buzz that yanked me from a dream where Alex's lips had finally met mine under a canopy of stars. Reality was crueler. He was still on my couch, tangled in the blanket, morning light slanting across his peaceful face like a benediction. I tiptoed to the kitchen, starting the coffee pot with hands that trembled from lack of sleep and too much hope. Last night's almost confession lingered like a bruise, tender, insistent. As the brew gurgled, he stirred, groaning dramatically. "Riley? What fresh hell is this hour?" His voice, gravelly with sleep, sent a shiver down my spine. "Morning, sunshine," I called back, pouring 2 mugs. He shuffled in, hair a glorious mess, rubbing sleep from his eyes. For a moment, we were just us, easy, uncomplicated, passing sugar and creamer like it was any Saturday. But the undercurrent pulled strong. "About that guy you mentioned," he said casually, stirring his coffee with unnecessary vigor. "You gonna tell him?" My grip tightened on the mug. "Maybe, if the moment's right." He nodded, but his jaw ticked, a subtle tell. "Good. You deserve that." Deserve. The word warmed me even as it warned. We parted with a hug at the door, longer than usual, his chin resting on my shoulder, breath syncing with mine. "See you at the bar tonight? Karaoke with the crew?" The crew. Our ragtag group of queer misfits from college. Mia, the fiery lesbian activist with a laugh like thunder. Theo, the non-binary poet who chain-smoked menthols and quoted Audre Lorde at parties. And Lena, Alex's cousin, the straight ally who'd punch anyone who looked at us sideways. Wouldn't miss it, I promised, watching him descend the stairs 2 at a time, his laughter echoing up like a lifeline. My shift at the cafe blurred into monotony, steaming milk, bantering with regulars, sketching furtive portraits of customers on napkins. One sketch captured a young trans guy with vibrant blue hair, his smile defiant against the world's grind. It made me think of Theo, how they'd bonded over shared surgeries and scar stories. By afternoon, my phone lit up with a group chat frenzy. Mia demanding we pre-game at her place in Williamsburg, Theo sharing a playlist of angsty indie anthems. Alex chimed in with a selfie from his desk, him sticking out his tongue, captioned, "Save me from deadlines." I replied with a heart emoji before I could stop myself, then deleted it, replacing with a thumbs up. Safe. Always safe. Mia's apartment was a riot of color, walls plastered with protest posters, fairy lights strung like constellations, the air thick with incense and weed. She enveloped me in a bear hug, her short-cropped hair tickling my cheek. "Riley, tell me you've got dirt on that barista boy toy." Mia was relentless, her brown eyes sparkling with mischief, always pushing me toward the fire. "No boy toy." I deflected, grabbing a beer from the fridge. "Just complications." Theo sidled up, exhaling a plume of smoke from the balcony door. "Complications named Alex?" They arched a perfectly sculpted brow, their voice a velvet drawl honed from open mics. I choked on my sip. "What? No. What?" Theo smirked, adjusting the silver cuff on their wrist, a gift from a lover long gone. "Honey, we've all seen the way you look at him. Like he's the last slice of pizza at a vegan potluck." Mia cackled, slinging an arm around Theo's shoulders. "Truth. But hey, if it's mutual." It wasn't, I wanted to say. Or was it? Last night's vulnerability replayed in loops. His touch, his confessions. Lena burst in then, arms laden with takeout tacos, diffusing the tension with her booming voice. "Enough therapy session. Let's get lit." We dove into the food, stories flowing like the cheap tequila shots. Mia railing against her latest workplace microaggression. Theo reciting a poem about fractured identities. Lena sharing her disastrous blind date with a guy who thought feminism was a type of yoga. By 9, we piled into Ubers, the city in neon blur as we crossed the bridge to the East Village dive bar, the Velvet Rope, a queer haven with sticky floors and a jukebox that favored Cyndi Lauper. The place thrummed, drag queens lip-syncing in the corner, couples swaying to time after time, the air electric with possibility. Alex was already there, holding court at our usual booth, Jordan beside him. My stomach plummeted. Jordan, tall, effortlessly charming in a Henley that accentuated his broad shoulders, his arms slung casually over the booth back, fingers grazing Alex's. Riley. Alex waved me over, his smile bright but edged. Jordan nodded, polite. Hey man, heard you're the artist in the group. We settled in, the table a chaos of pitchers and nachos. Conversation sparked, work gripes, bad movie wrecks, but undercurrents swirled. Jordan was magnetic, drawing stories from everyone with easy questions, his laugh a low rumble that made Alex light up in ways that twisted my gut. I nursed my beer, contributing quips when I could, but my sketches in the margins of a coaster betrayed me. Alex's profile, Jordan's hand, a tangled mess of lines. Mia caught my eye across the table, mouthing, "You okay?" I forced a nod, but the ache deepened. Karaoke kicked off with Theo belting, "I Will Survive," their voice soaring, drawing whoops from the crowd. Lena dragged Mia up for a duet of "Wannabe," their off-key harmony pure joy. Alex leaned in during the applause, breath warm against my ear. "Your turn next." His proximity ignited sparks, his knee pressed to mine under the table, accidental or not. "Only if you join," I countered, heart racing. He grinned, that boyish flash of teeth. "Deal." Jordan watched us, expression unreadable, before excusing himself to the bar. The song we chose was Wonderwall. Cheesy, inevitable. On stage, mics in hand, the lights hot on our faces, Alex's voice wove with mine, harmonies imperfect but earnest. For 3 minutes, the world narrowed. Just us, the melody bridging the gap I'd widened with silence. The crowd cheered as we bowed out, adrenaline buzzing. Back at the booth, he bumped my shoulder. "We killed it." His eyes held mine, something electric passing unspoken. Jordan returned then, sliding a round of shots our way. "To killer duets," he toasted, but his gaze lingered on Alex a beat too long. As the night wore on, tension simmered. Mia pulled me aside during a slow song, her hand firm on my arm. "Talk to him, Riley, before Jordan does." Her words were a knife, sharp, necessary. I glanced back. Alex and Jordan heads bent close, laughing at some shared joke. Jealousy flared, hot and ugly. Was this it? The moment I lost him? Emboldened by liquid courage, I wove through the crowd, tapping Alex's shoulder. "Hey, can we step outside?" He frowned, but nodded, following me to the alley door where the cool air slapped sense into me. Under the flickering exit sign, rain pattering on dumpsters, I faced him. "About last night." "The guy. It's you, Alex. It's always been you." The words tumbled out, raw and unpolished, no mirror practice to soften them. His face shifted, shock, then a dawning softness. "Riley." But before he could respond, the door banged open. Jordan, silhouette stark. "Everything good?" The interruption sliced clean, leaving my confession dangling like a live wire. Alex glanced between us, torn. "Yeah, just catching up." The lie stung, but I swallowed it, nodding as we filed back in. The rest of the night blurred, forced laughs, stolen glances, the group's energy a buffer against the storm brewing. By last call, Alex walked me to my Uber, the streets slick and silent. "We need to talk. For real. Tomorrow?" His hand squeezed mine, brief but burning. "Yeah," I whispered, sliding into the car as it pulled away, the city lights streaking like tears. "Tomorrow." Again. But this time, with witnesses, the fragile hope felt like it might shatter. Sleep evaded me that night, the confession replaying in endless variations, his eyes widening, Jordan's interruption a villainous cue. By dawn, my apartment felt like a cage, sketches scattered like shrapnel from an emotional war. I texted Mia at 7 a.m. I told him. Sort of. Her reply was instant. Details now. Coffee run. We met at a quiet spot in Greenpoint, the kind with mismatched mugs and baristas who didn't pry. Mia listened, chin propped on her hand, steam curling from her latte like question marks. Jordan showing up? Classic cockblock. But Riley, the way Alex looked at you. That's not nothing. Her optimism was a bomb, but doubt lingered. What if he's just being nice? The friend zone is a graveyard. Mia snorted, waving her spoon. Bullshit. I've seen him watch you. The same way I watch Lena when she thinks no one's looking. Lena, her on-again off-again flame. The one who'd crashed our friend group wedding with a proposal gone viral on TikTok. Their story was messy, full of miscommunications and make-up sex we didn't need details on. But it worked because they fought for it. Talk to him, she urged. No more half measures. Emboldened, I headed to Alex's after my shift, the subway ride a gauntlet of what-ifs. His building in Bed-Stuy loomed, brownstone stoop swept clean, window boxes blooming with defiant geraniums despite the chill. I buzzed up, heart in my throat. No answer. Tried again. Silence. A prickle of unease. Had he ghosted? Panicking, I circled the block, spotting his bike chained to the fence. He was home. Knocking escalated to pounding, and finally, the door cracked. Alex, disheveled in sweats, eyes red-rimmed. Riley? What? Come in. The apartment smelled of takeout and tension, dishes piled in the sink, his laptop open to a paused Netflix queue. Sorry, words failed as he paced, hands raking his hair. It's bad timing. Jordan's upstairs. Napping. The implication landed like a gut punch. Oh, shit. I should go, but he grabbed my wrist, gentle but firm. No. Stay. We need this. He led me to the fire escape, the narrow metal platform overlooking a courtyard tangled with ivy. We sat on the steps, knees touching, the city murmur a distant hum. Last night, he started, voice low, when you said. I froze. Because I've been there too. Feeling it. For you. Relief flooded me, dizzying. You have. He nodded, staring at his hands. Since college. That almost kiss after Sarah? It wasn't the booze. But I panicked, pushed it down because. Labels. My family. The whole straight guy phase bullshit. His vulnerability cracked me open. I'd worn the same mask, dating women in high school to fit the mold, coming out only when the lie choked me. Jordan, he continued, he's safe. Out, uncomplicated. No history to fuck up. History. Us. But he's not you. We sat in that truth, the air charged with possibility. His hand found mine, fingers interlacing tentative, calluses from his stylus rough against my palm. So what now? I whispered. He leaned in, forehead to mine, breath mingling. We figure it out. Together. The kiss that followed was tentative, soft lips brushing, tasting of mint and morning coffee, then deepening with the weight of years unspoken. It was redemption, electric and tender, the world tilting on its axis. But joy is fleeting in dramas like ours. A throat cleared behind us. Jordan, in the doorway, arms crossed, expression a storm cloud. Am I interrupting? The moment shattered. Alex pulled back, guilt etching his features. Jordan's laugh was sharp, devoid of humor. Save it. I knew something was off. The looks, the excuses. His eyes flicked to me hard. Friend, huh? That's rich. Accusation laced his words. Prejudices I'd thought buried surfacing. The trope of the sneaky by guy stealing hearts. The pain of being the placeholder. Chaos erupted. Jordan stormed inside, Alex trailing with apologies tumbling. I followed, numb, the fire escape's promise evaporating. In the living room, voices rose, Jordan's hurt lashing out. You string me along while pining for your straight bestie? Classic. Alex defended, voice breaking. It's not like that. I was figuring myself out. I stood frozen, the outsider in my own confession. Jordan, I'm sorry. I tried, but he whirled. Stay out of it, Riley. This is between us. The us that excluded me, a knife twist. Theo called then, oblivious. Yo, emergency group hang. Mia's melting down over a donor pullout at work. The timing was absurd, a lifeline. Alex seized it. Go. I'll handle this. His eyes pleaded, trust me. I nodded, slipping out, the door click echoing like finality. On the stoop, rain started again, fat drops mirroring my tears. What had I unleashed? Friendship fractured, a new love tainted by fallout. As I trudged to the subway, phone buzzing with Mia's pleas, I wondered if truths were worth the wreckage. The hangout at Theo's loft in Dumbo was a pressure cooker. Mia pacing, ranting about corporate hypocrisy, her fists clenched like she could punch through glass ceilings. Theo brewed chamomile, their calm a counterpoint, while Lena scrolled job listings on her phone, muttering encouragements. I arrived last, soaked and hollow, collapsing onto a beanbag amid the exposed brick and string lights. What happened to you? Mia demanded, halting mid-tirade. The dam broke. I spilled it all. The confession, the kiss, Jordan's rage. Silence fell, thick as fog. Theo whistled low. Damn, that's some telenovela shit. Lena leaned forward, practical as ever. Did he choose? Alex, I mean. I shrugged, the uncertainty gnawing. He said we figure it out. But Jordan. Mia waved it off. Jordan's hurt, but he'll land on his feet. The question is, are you ready for the mess? Because coming out, even to each other, it's not fireworks. It's fallout. Her words echoed my fears. Family reactions, friend divides, the societal side-eye that turned love into a battlefield. We talked until midnight, dissecting like surgeons, Theo sharing their non-binary navigation, the misgenderings that scarred deeper than knives, Lena confessing her ally guilt, the times she'd stayed silent to keep peace. It knit us tighter, this circle of chosen family, but as I Ubered home, doubt crept back. A text from Alex. Talk to Jordan. He's pissed, but understands. Can I come over? My thumbs hovered. Yes. No. The kiss replayed, warm against the cold night. Yeah. I sent, heart pounding. He arrived at 1 a.m., takeout in hand. Our favorite falafel wraps, a peace flag. We ate on the floor, cross-legged like kids, the awkwardness thawing with each bite. I ended it with Jordan, he said quietly. Clean break. He deserves someone all in. Relief warred with guilt. You didn't have to. I did, he cut in fierce. For us. Us. The word bloomed, tentative. We cleared plates, migrating to the couch, bodies inching closer until his arm draped over my shoulders, natural as breathing. Conversation turned deep, his Catholic upbringing, the confessional whispers of sin that echoed still, my evangelical echoes from Ohio, the youth group prayers for normalcy. We traced scars, the exes who'd weaponized our queerness, the friends who'd faded after coming out. Laughter mingled with tears, catharsis in the sharing. As dawn pinked the sky, he kissed me again, slower, surer, hands cupping my face like I was fragile art. I love you, Riley. Have for years. The words unlocked something primal. I echoed them back, the hook that started it all finally reeled in. But dawn brings clarity and complications. His phone buzzed. His sister, Rosa, calling from Queens. Family brunch, he groaned. You coming? Invitation or test? I hesitated. If you want. He did. And so, with butterflies rioting, we showered, separately, boundaries intact, and headed to the Riveras, the subway ride a bubble of hand-holding and stolen smiles. The house was a time capsule, lace curtains, crucifixes gleaming, the scent of Eraz con pollo wafting from the kitchen. Rosa, sharp-eyed and warmer than Alex let on, hugged me like kin. Riley, it's been ages. The table groaned under platters, empanadas, maduros, flan glistening. Mr. Rivera, a stoic mechanic with grease-stained hands, clapped my back. Heard you're drawing comics now. Good for you, Mijo. Mrs. Rivera fussed, piling my plate high, her rosary beads clicking softly. Talk flowed easy at first. Jobs, weather, Rosa's toddler antics. But undercurrents stirred. Alex's hand found mine under the table, a secret anchor. Then Rosa asked, casual. So, Alex, that Jordan fellow? Still seeing him. The room stilled. Alex squeezed my fingers, stealing. No, sis. Actually, Riley and I are together now. The words dropped like a stone in holy water. Silence rippled. Then Mrs. Rivera's fork clattered. Together? As in. Her eyes darted between us, confusion hardening to disapproval. Mr. Rivera cleared his throat. Son, we raised you better. The judgment landed, prejudices unearthed, the immigrant dream of normalcy, grandkids, conformity. Alex's face paled. Dad, this is who I am. Who we are. I sat mute, the outsider again, heart hammering. Rosa jumped in, fierce. Papa, times change. Love's love. But the damage seeped. Mrs. Rivera's tears, Mr. Rivera's averted gaze. Brunch ended abrupt. Hugs strained. Alex's jaw set like concrete. Outside, in the car he'd borrowed, he punched the wheel. Fuck. I knew it'd be bad, but I rubbed his arm. They'll come around. Lies, maybe, but hope's a stubborn weed. We drove in silence, the city swallowing us, until he pulled over near the bridge, head dropping to the steering wheel. I can't lose them, but I won't lose you. The vow anchored me. We kissed through tears, salty and fierce, recommitting in the face of fracture. That night, group chat exploded, Rosa defending us to the family, Mia plotting a counter brunch. But deeper currents brewed. A call from Theo. Jordan's at the bar. Talking shit. Rumors, the queer community's whisper network, twisting our story into betrayal narrative. I arrived to find Jordan at the counter, shots lined up, eyes glassy. Riley. His tone was ice. You happy? Stole my god. The accusation stung, misunderstanding born of pain. It wasn't stealing. We were honest. He scoffed. Honest. After months of you mooning while I built something real? The bar emptied around us, patrons sensing drama. Mia arrived, flanking me. Theo herded Jordan toward a booth. Words flew, hurt unspooling, prejudices laid bare. Jordan's fear of being the rebound, my guilt over silent years. I get it, I said finally. The pain. But we can't rewrite history. He deflated, nodding. Truce. Handshake sealed it, fragile peace. As weeks blurred, our love took root. Dates at hole-in-the-wall to carry us, sketches of us tangled in my novel, late nights debating futures. But conflicts simmered. Alex's family dinners turned tense standoffs, my parents' supportive calls a counterpoint that highlighted the rift. Friendships strained, Mia and Jordan's alliance fraying, Theo mediating like a weary diplomat. Then the bomb. Rosa announced her engagement, the family rallying around tradition, sidelining us. Alex snapped at a pre-wedding dinner, storming out, me trailing. I can't breathe here, he gasped in the parking lot. It's suffocating. We drove aimlessly, ending at Coney Island Boardwalk, off-season ghosts haunting the rides. There, under star-pricked sky, he broke. What if love isn't enough? Doubt's poison. I pulled him close. It has to be. We're building something real. Vows renewed, but cracks spiderwebbed. The wedding loomed like a guillotine, Rosa's big day, a family referendum on acceptance. We RSVP'd together, a united front, but dread coiled in my gut. Alex threw himself into work, designs bleeding into all-nighters, coming home hollow-eyed. Distraction, he muttered when I pressed, but I saw the erosion, love's bloom wilting under prejudice's frost. I countered with normalcy. Picnics in Prospect Park, where we'd feed ducks and dream aloud about a studio apartment upstate, away from the city's grind. One afternoon, under a weeping willow, he sketched me, pencil strokes tender, capturing the freckles across my nose. My muse, he whispered, kissing the paper's edge. Moments like that stitched us back. But Jordan's shadow lingered. A chance encounter at a gallery opening, Mia's invite, art by queer emerging talents. He was there, date on arm, a lanky artist with tattoos snaking up his arms. Polite nods exchanged, but tension crackled. Later, over wine, he pulled me aside. Heard about the family drama. Tough break. Empathy softened his edges. Yeah, feels like we're on trial. He clapped my shoulder. Hang in. You too. You're the real deal. Absolution, unexpected. It mended a tear I hadn't named. Theo's poetry slam that week was our reset, spotlights harsh, words weaponized against silence. They performed a piece on fluid identities, lines slicing through the crowd. We bend, we break, but never straight lines dictate our grace. Alex gripped my hand, tears tracking silent. Backstage, amid hugs and high fives, he murmured, "That's us." Pride swelled, a bulwark. Yet climax brewed at the wedding. The venue, a sun-dappled garden in Long Island, buzzed with relatives in pastel suits, marimba music lilting. We arrived arm in arm, Alex in a sharp blazer, me in chinos that hid my nerves. Whispers followed. TIAs clucking tongues, uncles averting eyes. Rosa, radiant in lace, hugged us fierce. Ignore them. Love wins today. Her groom, a gentle engineer named Marco, echoed it with a wink. But during the toast, Mr. Rivera rose, glass raised. To family, to traditions that bind us. The subtext hung heavy, exclusion by omission. Alex tensed beside me, fork scraping plate. Mrs. Rivera's gaze flicked our way, pitying. Midway through cake, he bolted, muttering excuses, me chasing to the valet lot. There, against a rented limo, he unraveled. They see me as broken. A disappointment. Sobs racked him, my shirt dampening under his cheek. You're not, I soothed, rocking him like fragile glass. You're everything. Headlights swept as guests departed, but we stayed, cocooned in grief. Rosa found us later, veil trailing. Papa's asking for you. Mediation. In a quiet gazebo, strung with lights, Mr. Rivera waited, cigar smoke curling like regrets. Son, he started, voice gruff, this choice. It hurts your mother. Alex straightened. It's not a choice, Dad. It's me. Riley's part of that. Silence stretched, taut. Then, slow. I don't understand. But, you're my boy? Always. Not full acceptance, but a crack in the wall, enough for light. Mrs. Rivera joined, tearful embrace following. We try. For you. Relief cascaded, tentative. Back home, we celebrated quietly. Pizza on the fire escape, stars winking approval. Progress. Alex toasted with soda. But I saw the wear, love's toll in shadowed eyes. My own burdens surfaced. A gallery rejection for my graphic novel. Pages of us mocked as derivative queer tropes. Self-doubt crept, whispering unworthiness. What if I'm holding you back? I confessed one night, sheets tangled. He traced my jaw. Never. You're my forward. Friendship fractures healed uneven. Mia and Jordan's truce evolved into collaboration. A queer youth art workshop, my illustrations paired with his outreach. Theo mediated a group intervention, air clearing over bottomless mimosas. Lena proposed to Mia at the next Pride, ring simple, love profound, mirroring our stumbles. Autumn deepened, leaves carpeting streets like confetti from battles won. We adopted a rescue cat, Whiskers, a scrappy tabby who needed our laps with equal parts claw and purr. Domesticity grounded us. Grocery runs debating cereals, movie marathons with popcorn wars. But tension simmered. Alex's promotion demanded travel, my novel revisions isolated. A fight erupted over a canceled date. Him in Chicago for a pitch, me alone with takeout and doubt. You're slipping away, I accused via video, pixels blurring tears. I'm fighting for us, he shot back. Bills don't pay themselves. Reconciliation came in a midnight airport run, me waiting at arrivals, sign scrawled, my Wonderwall. He dropped his bag, crushing me in a hug that erased miles. Hotel that night. No rush, just rediscovery. Kisses mapping familiar terrain, whispers vowing more. We're in this, he breathed. Solidified. Winter's bite brought holidays. My Ohio visit a buffer, parents welcoming Alex with pie and probing questions. He seemed solid. Dad grunted over turkey. Mom's quilts for our bed. Warmth for cold nights. Returned to Brooklyn snowed under. We hosted a solstice party. Friends crammed, lights twinkling, toasts to survival. Jordan brought his boyfriend, harmony restored. But high tide pulls under. Spring unearthed buried mines. An ex of mine, Connor, resurfaced via email, apologizing for past ghosts, stirring old insecurities. Alex found the thread, jealousy flaring. Why keep it? Closure, I explained, but trust frayed. Counter, his lingering glances at a coworker, innocent but incendiary. Arguments escalated. Words like daggers, silences like voids. Climax crested at Mia and Lena's wedding. A bohemian affair in the Catskills. Meadows blooming. Vows exchanged under arches of wildflowers. We stood as joint best persons, rings exchanged amid laughter. But during the reception, under strung lanterns, Connor appeared, invited by a mutual, oblivious to history. Alex's face darkened, mine paled. What the hell? He hissed later, by the bonfire. You invited him? No. Chaos. Accusations flying, guests glancing. I stormed off, woods enveloping, sobs echoing. Theo found me, blanket draped. Breathe. Misunderstandings kill if unchecked. Wisdom soaked in. Confrontation followed. Alex apologetic. Connor a pawn in our insecurities. I trust you, he vowed, hands framing my face. But fear's a bitch. Mutual confessions. His co-worker crush a flicker, extinguished. My Connor emails, deleted unread. Laughter broke tension. Absurdity of jealousy in love's light. Renewed, we danced under stars, bodies sinking to slow beats. Back in the city, commitments deepened. Lease signed for a larger place. My novel accepted for publication. Queer heroes front and center. Alex's designs graced billboards, pride flags woven subtle. Yet drama's arc demands descent. Summer scorched, revelations burned. Rosa confided a family secret. Uncle Tomas, gay and closeted, lost to AIDS in the 80s, silence his shroud. Papa's fear? It's grief. Empathy reshaped grudges. A trip to the AIDS memorial healed generational wounds. Mr. Rivera sharing stories, tears mingling with Alex's. Friend betrayal struck. A coworker outed our early dates online. Trolls swarming, slurs in comments, doxing threats. Paranoia gripped. We unplugged, holing up with board games and bad TV. Community rallied. Mia moderating, Jordan amplifying positive press. Resilience forged stronger. Fall circled back, anniversary nearing. The rain-slicked night of that first confession. We retraced steps, his old apartment, now strangers' laughter within. Park bench where we'd talked, leaves gold again. 1 year, he said, ring box opening, simple band, engraved always. Proposal on one knee, voice steady. Marry me, Riley. Through every storm. Tears blurred yes, kiss sealing eternity. But surprise twisted. My novel's launch party, critics lauding, but a plagiarism claim from a rival artist. Baseless, but vicious. Court dates loomed, stress fracturing sleep. Alex stood sentinel, testifying to my process. Victory came hard-won, settlement hushed. Through it, growth bloomed. Therapy sessions unpacking baggage, volunteering at queer centers, mentoring youth like young us. Friendships evolved. Mia and Lena parenting a foster kid, Theo publishing chapbooks, Jordan's nonprofit expanding. Family mended. Rivera's hosting holidays, my parents video calling grandkid dreams. Climax's echo, a health scare. Alex's checkup flagging anxiety's toll, panic attacks resurfacing. Hospital vigil, my hand in his, vows whispered, not without you. Recovery slow, but shared, yoga classes, walks at dawn. Resolution settled soft. 2 years in, vows exchanged in a quiet ceremony. Friends witnesses, Rosa officiating, rings exchanged under that same park oak. Vows. Through misunderstandings, prejudices, surprises, we choose us. Dance floor erupted, love's chaos tamed to joy. Epilogue whispers, whiskers purring on our laps, novel sequel brewing, designs for a family of our own. The hook that started it, a practiced confession caught, became legend, retold at parties. In the end, love wasn't absence of storm, but dancing in the rain. Alex sensed the rot. Don't let him dim you. But doubt festered, manifesting in withdrawn sketches, pages blank. Counter. His firm's merger brought a new boss, Harlan, a slick type with bro vibes masking homophobia. Jokes landing like grenades, promotions bypassing Alex for team players. Prejudice and pinstripes, eroding confidence. Nights, we'd vent, bodies entwined, but words turned weapons. You're overreacting. You're avoiding. Conflict peaked at a holiday party. Harlan's hand on Alex's shoulder too long, whisper laced with innuendo. Alex recoiled, storming out. I followed, car ride a minefield. He knows about us. It's leverage. Fear's grip tightened. Career versus authenticity, the closet's shadow long. Home. Explosion. Accusations of my distraction with Sam, his deflection onto Harlan. We're drifting. I yelled, door slamming as I couch crashed. Dawn brought regret. Coffee truce, apologies brewed strong. We're better than this, he said, hand extended. Therapy resumed. Couples sessions unpacking patterns. My abandonment fears from Connor, his rejection echoes from family. Breakthrough. Vulnerability exercises, letters read aloud. mine praising his quiet strength, his lauding my creative fire. Bonds reforged, hotter. Surprise twisted, Sam's support morphed sabotage, leaking distorted quotes to a tabloid, painting my novel as exploitative queer fantasy. Backlash online, reviews tanking. Fury boiled, legal threats flew. Alex rallied. Fight smart. With Jordan's nonprofit muscle, we countered, a statement on representation's power, donations surging to queer causes. Sam faded, exposed. Spring thawed, personal ice. Harlan's overreach, a joking email chain outing clients. Backfired, HR probe forcing his exit. Alex's promotion followed, vindication sweet. We celebrated rooftop, city sprawl at feet. Champagne, fizzing like new beginnings. Friend arcs deepened. Theo's book tour. Us road-tripping support. Readings in dive bars. Fan letters mending Theo's imposter scars. Mia's foster kid, Jamie, a whip-smart trans teen, bonded with us over comics. Mentorship bloomed, family expanding. Family evolutions. Rivera's annual Pride picnic. Mr. Rivera grilling veggie burgers. Mrs. baking rainbow cookies. Acceptance's quiet revolution. My parents visited, touring galleries, Dad admitting, "Your world's brighter than mine ever was." Climax redux. Infertility journey. Surrogacy dreams dashed by costs. Adoption waits endless. Grief hollowed us. Nights raw with what-ifs. Maybe just us, Alex murmured, but ache persisted. Breakthrough. Fostering Jamie full-time. Mia's blessing. Court days tense, but homecoming. Her hugs tentative, then fierce, filled voids. Summer solstice. 2 years wed. We renewed under that oak. Rings polished, vows updated. Through infertiles and abundances. Party spilled into streets, laughter echoing origins. Yet drama delights in loops. Fall brought a manuscript offer, biopic of our story, Hollywood gloss. Temptation ward. Authenticity versus exposure. Auditions loomed, actors approximating us, flattering, fracturing. They'll sanitize, I argued. Alex countered, or amplify. Decision, yes, with clauses guarding truth. Filming chaos, set visits, script tweaks, paparazzi hounding. Premiere night, red carpet surreal. Us in tuxes, hands clasped. Reviews mixed, heartfelt, if trope why. But impact rippled. Youth DMs thanking, closets creaking open. Resolutions whisper, back home. Whiskers too, kitten chaos. Batting yarn, Jamie sketching beside me. Alex's designs framing walls. Love, not linear. Confessions practiced, caught, confessed anew daily. The hook endures, that rainy sprint, shattering text, mirror rehearsals. In retelling, to Jamie wide-eyed, love's the bravest plot twist. And in his grin, future hooks gleam. Years layered like Brooklyn patina, grit over glow, stories etched in laugh lines. Jamie thrived, high school theater star, her coming out a family affair. Cake inscribed, out and proud. Tears of joy, not fear. You paved this, she said, hugging Alex tight. Mentorship cycled. We guided her crush. Awkward dates chaperoned with ice cream bribes. Career crescendos. My series hit bestseller lists. Graphic novels spawning podcasts. Fans cosplaying our heroes at cons. Alex geeking beside in custom tees. His firm launched a queer design collective. Harlan's ghost banished. Collaborations bloomed. Joint zine on intersectional loves. Pages pulsing with our evolutions. Friendship constellations shifted. Mia and Lena's second foster, a sibling set. Home bustling. Theo's TED Talk on gender fluidity. Us front row cheering. Jordan's wedding to his artist. Us toasting under string lights. Full circle from alley truces. Family tapestries wove richer. Rose's kids calling us T.O. Riley and T.O. Alex. Bilingual chaos at barbecues. Mr. Rivera's quiet pride. A drawer of my books in his garage, dog-eared. My parents retired to Florida. Visits beachside. Waves lapping as Dad grilled fish. Mom sharing crochet patterns for pride flags. Conflicts, inevitable. Jamie's rebellion phase. Piercings, late nights. Clashes over curfews. You're not my dad, she hurled, door slamming. We tag team talks. Alex's calm mirroring my fire. breakthroughs in tears and trust. I push because I care, he explained. She softened. Scared you'll leave like biomom. Health echoes. Alex's anxiety medicated. Therapy toolkit expanded. Mine for creative blocks. Hers for identity anchors. Pandemic redux scares kept us vigilant, but vaccinated hikes in the Palisades fortified resilience. Surprise swells. Adoption finalized for the Sibs. Home exploding with toys and tantrums. Sleepless nights bonded us deeper. Tag team feedings, lullabies harmonized. Our chaos. Alex quipped, coffee in hand at 3 a.m. Climax's gentle wave. 20th reunion from NYU. Campus changed, but echoes loud. Life drawing room revisited, charcoals in hand. Now drawing each other, bodies known by heart. Professor Emeritus, wrinkled but wicked, winked. Darlings, you've bloomed. Party after, old flames flickering. Sarah, Alex's ex, toasting our endgame. Laughter cathartic, past saluted. Resolution roots. Upstate cabin bought. Weekends escaping city's pulse. Hammocks swaying. Novels drafted by lake light. Jamie's college send-off. Dorm unpacked with dorm pranks planned. Empty nest loomed, but adventures beckoned. Europe backpack, sketching ruins, his camera capturing us golden-houred. The original hook, mythologized, rainy confession, now anniversary ritual, mirror practices turned playful, I love you in accents silly. In quiet, his head on my shoulder. Best plot I never scripted. Epilogue's breath, gray threading curls, hands veined but laced, whiskers 3 purring. Stories to grandkids, fictional kin or real, of loves caught, confessed, cherished. Drama's end? Never, just chapters, infinite.